In the city of Toronto, condo apartments consistently account for more home sales every month than every other home type. I've been selling real estate for 18 years here, and I've noticed that it doesn't matter if it's an up market, if it's a down market, condo sales continue to dominate. But I've also noticed that every month when the Toronto Real Estate Board release their market stats, the media tend to push out headlines that focus on the overall numbers, which are based on all home types combined. And my concern is that the majority of people don't really fully understand how much of an impact condos have on those overall numbers. So in this video, I'm going to show you some important data that's going to help you read beyond those headlines and have a deeper understanding of what's actually happening in the market. And regardless of what specific home type you're focused on right now, this is data that every buyer and seller in the Toronto real estate market should be aware of. And even if you're not looking to make a move right now, please share this video with anyone who you know that is, so that they can make a more informed decision. My name is Jason Bondy-Sawyer. I've been a realtor in the city of Toronto since 2006, and I make educational videos like this one here to help buyers and sellers navigate the Toronto real estate market. Now, if you want to book a call with me to discuss your real estate plans, you can do so using that first link down in the description. If you find this video valuable, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Okay, let's get into it. Before we get into the important numbers, I want to quickly point out two of the top reasons why there are so many condo apartment sales in the city of Toronto compared to all other home types. Reason number one, sheer volume and supply. In downtown Toronto and high-density areas, more condos exist compared to detached, semi-detached, or townhomes. New condos are constantly being built, adding to the inventory and fueling sales. Turnover rates are higher. Condos are often owned by investors or first-time buyers who move more frequently compared to detached homeowners who stay longer. And number two, affordability and accessibility. Lower price points make condos the most accessible option for first-time buyers. More financing flexibility, right? Buyers with smaller budgets can qualify for condos more easily than they can for detached homes, which require larger down payments and higher incomes. And of course, investor demand keeps condo sales high since they are more affordable rental properties than detached or semi-detached homes. Okay, on to the numbers now. So this is a table showing the data for the city of Toronto in January 2025. And it's super enlightening to look at the numbers this way, where the data for each individual home type is laid out side by side so that you can see how they relate to one another and to the overall numbers as a whole. So on the left here, we start by looking at all home types combined. And as I said before, these are those broad overall numbers. And again, these are the numbers that the media tends to focus on with their headlines. So you can see that there were almost 1,400 sales in January, almost 7,000 active listings. And by the way, active listings is the number of listings that are on the market on the last day of the month. And then below that, we have the months of inventory, and MOI is calculated by dividing active listings by the number of sales. You can see that we had almost 5 months of inventory in January. In other words, if no new listings were to come on the market and we were left with just those 7,000 active listings, it would take 5 months to sell out of everything. Anything in the 4 to 6 month range is what we would call a balanced market. Anything less than that is a seller's market, and anything more than that is a buyer's market. The average sale price was just under $1 million, and the median sale price was $800,000. And if you're not familiar with what median means, if we were to line up all of the individual sale prices next to one another in ascending order, it would be the middle price. So if you had numbers 1 to 11 lined up next to one another, the median would be 6. And I always think it's a good idea to not just look at the average sale price, but also the median sale price, because the median sale price is not as influenced by a few really high-end prices or a few really low-end prices like the average sale price might be. The average days on market was 39, and finally, the average sale price to list price ratio was 99%. In other words, if a property was listed at $1 million, it was selling for $990,000. Okay, so now we're gonna start to break it down into individual home types, and we'll start with detached homes. In January, you can see there were only 351 sales, which amounts to approximately 25% of all sales that happened. Months of inventory was 4.13, so the detached market was tighter than the overall market. Average sale price was just under 1.6 million, and median sale price was just under 1.3 million. Detached homes were taking 32 days to sell on average, and were selling for an average of 99% of the list price. So you can already see here how the data for a specific home type can differ from the overall numbers. And this is going to become even more apparent by the time we reach the condo apartment column on the far right of this table. So looking at the semi-detached column now, there were only 132 sales, which amounts to less than 10% of all the sales that happened. The months of inventory was only 2.03, which is very much a seller's market. And that's an environment where we're seeing offer dates on listings, sellers receiving multiple offers on the offer date, and properties selling for above the list price. And you can see the result of that down at the bottom of the column, where properties are selling on average 5% above the list price. And again, that's us looking at an individual home type, right? And seeing that the story there is actually quite a bit different than what the overall numbers are telling us. Now, I'll just go ahead and dump in the numbers here for the attached row townhouse column and the condo townhouse column as well, because I really want to get to those condo apartment numbers. But feel free to go ahead and take a screenshot of this so that you can take a look at these numbers in greater detail if you want to. Okay, on to condo apartments now. So there were a total of 747 sales in January, which amounts to 54% of all sales that happened. So more than double the amount of detached sales and more than double the amount of all the other home types combined. Months of inventory was 6.08, which is a buyer's market. And it's important to note that this is the only home type here that is in a buyer's market. And when you compare it to the other home types, you can see how these condo numbers are actually skewing the months of inventory for all home types there in the left column. And just to illustrate that, if we were to remove the condo apartment numbers from this data, the overall months of inventory for all home types would move from 4.99 down to 3.72. And then looking at the average sale price to list price ratio, it's 98%, which tells us that condo buyers are able to negotiate down the price more than any other home type here. Okay, if you are making a move in the Toronto real estate market and you'd like some expert guidance on how to go about doing that, you can book a call with me using that first link down in the description. Over here are a couple of other videos I think you want to take a look at. Over here is a link to subscribe to this channel. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.